Hello everyone, we start with the headlines. At least 44 Senior 6 candidates in Iganga district have missed out on their national exams. Over 100 drug addicts and smokers netted in a city pub near Crested Towers. On the international scene, South Sudan president accepts postponement of unity government deadline. And in sports, cranes to charter Uganda Airlines to Ouagadougou. Hello once again. This is News Tonight on Sign Language. Mugalu Mohammed. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. We start this off on a rather sad note. 44 Senior 6 candidates from two different schools in Iganga district have run to police for help after they were stopped from sitting their UNEB exams, this over fees defaulting. Let's take a look.
At least 44 students from two different schools in Iganga district have missed sitting for UNEB examinations after school administrators refused them for failure to complete tuition. The students are from Top Care Senior Secondary School and Iganga King of Kings. The students rushed to police for help. A team comprising the District Police Commander, Deputy Ndaula, Resident District Commissioner, Nalongo Kwesiga, and LC5 Chairperson, Patrick Kayemba, escorted the students to their respective schools for intervention, but their efforts were fruitless.
That's the way it is supposed to be. That's the way it is supposed to be. Basa to work on it. But sometimes you can see that the Basa is working above me. How? Then you ask yourself, how? The Basa working above me.
The headmaster, Top Care Senior Secondary School, Wilson Naboho, said the students are defaulters and could not be allowed to sit for the exams. The UNEB invigilators contacted the UNEB headquarters for help, but all in vain. Some of the victims were left with a fees balance of 10,000, 15,000, while others had a balance of 10,000 shillings only. The DPC Iganga district, David Ndaula, has summoned the head teachers of the two schools to police to make a statement. Adiana Kute, UBC.
It's rather unfortunate. Police in Kampala has arrested over 100 drug consumers and cigarette smokers in an operation aimed at implementing the ban on public smoking. The police, led by by officer in charge operations at the Central Police Station, Kampala, Ivan Ndahura, recovered illegal drugs, marijuana and shisha. Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Patrick Onyango says they will be charged under the Tobacco Control Act of 2015. Here are the details.
They resisted, attempted to escape, but failed and then surrendered. It was late at night. The operation was along Hannington Road, opposite Crested Towers. One by one, these shisha smokers had made a bundle of themselves.
Wait, are you a man already? He's a man.
Police rounded up youthful girls and boys, found smoking cigarettes in a midnight operation to rid the country of shisha and marijuana smokers.
Give me my beer.
Shisha was outlawed in Uganda through an Act of Parliament of 2015. The police operation was led by Officer in Charge Operations at Central Police Station, Ivan Nduhura.
You come enter, you start drugs, blue beer, a man to man, a lady to lady. What is that? Without fearing you kissing yourself.
Over 120 people were arrested.
Siganye kali bana bato babiramu abakyala bintundu bwebityo ne bagula abakyala bikozesebwa nga ebyokozesebwa kubanga ebyonjaza ngeyo mayirungi ngaago naye kale si kirungi abantu abasinga mu kibuga ffe tubeerako ekira abantu kwe balya bafune ekyokulya.
Police was screening the suspects.
We have started the process of recording their statements and screening. There are those that we shall release who are innocent. Then the hardcore ones definitely will appear in court.
Those found liable will be charged under the Tobacco Control Act, which prohibits public smoking.
Which talks of electronic narcotic delivery systems, and which means an electronic device that may be used to deliver narcotic, viper, or other substances to the person inhaling from the device.
Such operations are a part of efforts to end public smoking.
Meanwhile, the NRM party chairman, President Yoweri Museveni, has summoned NRM members of parliament for a caucus meeting aimed at finding lasting solutions to Makerere University woes. The caucus is also expected to discuss,
and then we find a middle position agreeable to all stakeholders.
Last month, Makerere University students went on strike, protesting 15% cumulative tuition increment. The strike that lasted several days ended after several interventions from different stakeholders, including Parliament.
Right now, Makerere accountability.
This House condemns the strongest terms the brutality meted out on the students at Makerere University. Those in favor say aye, the contrary no. No. Ayes have it.
The caucus is again meeting at State House Entebbe to find a lasting solution.
We are going for the meeting, but top on the agenda, the issues of Makerere and other items and other issues.
Some of us, we are products of Makerere University, so we feel like we want that university to operate free.
It should be noted that Parliament had earlier directed the Committee on Education to start immediate investigation into the matter and present a report within a fortnight. Whether the caucus meeting will override the decision is yet to be answered.
Caucus is for us members of NRM, who are the majority in the House, to get a common ground, to get consensus over a matter. And then we all come and speak the same voice. That's the only reason, really. But we cannot overturn what Parliament decides at the end of the day.
As we continue investigating, because we have asked the Speaker to give us up to the 10th of December to have completed the report.
Also to be discussed is the NRM party political roadmap for the forthcoming general elections. The Parliamentary Committee on Education is currently following up on the 15% cumulative tuition that led to the strike that lasted for days. Susan Naonga reporting for UBC TV.
Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, says Uganda is yet to experience worst impacts of climate change. She called upon all refugee-hosting communities to develop a mandatory practice of tree planting during cultural, religious and political functions to champion mitigation of the adverse effects of climate change. Kadaga was speaking during the 20th International Conference of Chief Justices of the World in India.
The effects of global warming and climate change have started manifesting through floods, erratic rains and drought, but all are due to man's action on land. There have been limited efforts to sensitize the public on awareness on environmental conservation. Speaking at the 20th International Conference of Justices of the World in India, Speaker of Parliament Rebecca Kadaga quoted that Uganda has started experiencing diverse effects of climate change.
We are countries that we are a refugee hosting country. We have over 1 million refugees, and they come from their country with no firewood. So they come to our country, they have to cook, so they cut our trees and so on. So I've asked the United Nations to support us in those communities. Wherever the refugees are, give us support to plant more trees because we need to replenish the forests.
She called for mandatory tree planting during marriage, baptism, graduation or any other public ceremony as an advocacy on climate change mitigation.
So it's really, really important that we inculcate the culture of preservation to our children. In my constituency, I have advised all the families to do a few things. One, that at every marriage, We should plant 5 trees at the boys' home, 5 at the girls' home.
She emphasized that during the 64th Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference held in Uganda, 1,630 trees were planted. The 20th meeting of the Chief Justices of the World in India is discussing governance matters such as the need for reform of the UN system, human rights and rule of law, rights of children and women, women and minorities, and the need to have a world parliament.
Now, there seems to be a rift between the newly appointed Senior Presidential Advisor on Kampala Affairs, Catherine Kusasira, and Kampala Central NRM Chairperson, Salim Uhuru. They both insist they cannot bow to each other.
Last Saturday, musician Catherine Kusasira was invited by a section of NRM supporters to Chibiri, Busabala Parish, to officiate at their grand launch of their new association. Kusasira warned all NRM leaders within the city to desist from heckling her upon her new assignment from President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Omukulembeze saawe nayagala bantu bakozi tayagala bikonwa kubanga nyiza okubuuza nti bantu bameka njagala gwe omuntu alaba andaba buuza omubaka wo oba buuza omukulembeze wo kikyakoledde constituency yo.
Her remarks have generated debate and anger from a cross-section of NRM party leaders within the city. NRM Kampala Central Chairperson Salim Uhuru cautioned Catherine Kusasira to stick to the principles of the appointment instead of antagonizing the current NRM structures within the city.
But you're a senior presidential advisor and a chairman. Assume, as she says, I had requested to meet her as she was bragging. Yes, there's nothing wrong me meeting her. But if you are not a member of NRM, you don't reside in Kampala Central, you have never attended any meetings, you do not know even where the office of the Kampala Central district is, you don't even know an LC1 chairman in Kampala Central, you are right to say that. But leave the issues of Kampala Central to the generals of Kampala Central. Someone must be answerable. Bring whoever has been appointed. Forget about Kusasira, Butcherman, and the rest. Bring any other people who are presidential advisors, one-on-one with me. Ask them about Kampala. They don't know. They don't know about Kampala. It is us who are on ground on a day-to-day business activity that we can tell you issue of Kampala is this, on my fingertips.
I'm Robert Onyango for UBC News, Kampala.
Well, we'll take a quick break. When we return, business news. You're watching News Tonight.
Send money from Airtel to Airtel at 60% discounted rates. Yes, you can now send money for as low as 100 shillings and a maximum of 1,000 shillings. And that's not all. You can now withdraw up to 7 million shillings from your nearest Airtel money agent for as low as 12,500 shillings. Remember, depositing money is free. Buying airtime through Airtel Money is free. Airtel Money and PIN registration is free. Do not pay any transaction charges directly to the agent, and never share your PIN number with anyone. Enjoy the lowest rates on sending and withdrawing money on Airtel Money today. Airtel Money, simple, instant, secure. Airtel, the smartphone network.
My first 4G smartphone from Airtel is back. It's bigger, better, and comes with 5 GB free data per month for 3 months. At only 200,000 Uganda shillings, enjoy fantastic features on the phone, like the face unlock feature, long battery life. Live your life in 4G with my first 4G smartphone at only 200,000 Uganda shillings and get free 5 GB data every month for 3 months. Visit the nearest Airtel shop, dial *175*9# to enjoy free data. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hello, Uganda! We introduce to you the first and ever My Right to Play Christmas Kids Festival 2019. Let the kids feel the Christmas Eve on the 21st of December at the Legend Sports Ground in Lugogo. Entrance is 10,000 shillings only and parents free. Bring your child and have an opportunity to play, sing, dance and discover their talents. Mujje tuyingira amazaalibwa ng'abato basanyusa bato bannaabwe. Muleete abaana bammwe banyumirwe, banywe, bazanye. Kino kigenda kubeera kijjabe. Proudly sponsored by Legend Sports Ground, UBC TV, Star TV, U24 TV, Star FM, Magic 100 FM, UBC Butebo, Marketing, UMC Victoria Hospital and Ideas Workshop. Bw'oba oyagala omwana okuyimba kuba ku ssimu eno.
Chirudu National Referral Hospital, in conjunction with Smile Train International, have organized a surgical camp on enhancing cleft lip and palate care. During this camp, patients with cleft lips and palates will receive free surgery and care. The camp will begin on 16th of November to 23rd of November 2019 from Chirudu Hospital. We request the general public to send patients with cleft lips and palates to come and receive these free services to have their smiles restored and their general physical appearance improved. For more information and booking, contact 0772 608 026 or 0701 910 890 or 0785 910 810.
We're coming to you live from Butekanga in Kamuli district.
In the sub-county where I come from, where my leadership is being practiced, money is really a big problem that is hindering women to join leadership.
And in case you didn't know, Fasi Fasi is a show intended to make way for women in the leadership sphere. How can we create a space where someone who does not have 20 million shillings but has the ideas can become a leader in our community? Did you know that the journey to becoming a politician is very costly, especially for women in rural areas like Kamuli, where the main source of income is subsistence farming? Going by numbers, money seems to be a critical factor in joining the political race. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's make way and make some noise.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Tonight. Now in business news, the Economic Policy Research Center seeks to help government in its mission of creating jobs for the bulging youth population. A senior economist at EPRC, Dr. Madina Gulova, says as the youth unemployment rises, strategic interventions are needed in the niche sectors in order to absorb the young population and women in decent and productive work.
By identifying opportunities, sources of productive and decent employment, and effective strategies, the youth participation in the agro-industrialization value chain will be boosted.
One of the programs on the NDP3 is agro-industrialization. So we have to make ourselves relevant for implementing the AGI. In this case, as we are phrasing agro-industrialization as AGI. So in that sense, one of the 9 commodities that the AGI is fronting are either cotton, fish, cassava, maize, not beans, probably tea. Those are among the 9. So within these 9, we need to see where is employment going to be created.
The Economic Policy Research Center is currently undertaking a study on creating productive and decent work for youth and women in Uganda through agro-industrialization in partnership with the African Policy Dialogues under the Include Knowledge platform.
We are saying, on the other hand, how can we take advantage of the opportunity that is availed for labor externalization, the monies that are coming back, to make sure that the returnees, if I may use that term, can benefit from their effort of working outside and coming back and realizing their goal. They're still youthful. They go and work for short contracts. They work for 2 years in the Middle East. They come back and they want also to be able to lead a life and take advantage of the quick money they have earned in the Middle East.
In a stakeholder engagement in Kampala, participants were given a chance to identify and prioritize the most appropriate AGI value chains that have the highest back and forward linkages towards creation of productive and decent employment.
Cassava is a resilient crop whereby women and youth who are normally poor will find easy to crop husbandry eat because it doesn't demand so much.
It is coffee because it's a traditional crop which doesn't require us to invest more time in teaching people how to grow it, and the market is readily available.
Coffee. Why? Because at global level they are picking interest in our coffee.
When you leave out sugarcane and you leave out rice, which is solid grown in this time, and you have abandoned things which are supposed to be food security, there's a problem.
Labour externalization topped the agenda of the discussions. This is due to the continued exodus of Ugandan youth to foreign countries in search of employment opportunities. Dennis Ikoa for UBC News.
And Uganda will host the 4th International Conference on Tax in Africa, and this is to coincide with the 10th anniversary celebration of the African Tax Administration Forum. In another development, Barclays Bank Uganda Limited has completed its legal name change of Absa Bank Uganda Limited.
Is to host the 4th International Conference on Tax in Africa, which coincides with the 10th anniversary celebrations for the African Tax Administration Forum.
As many of you may be aware, is that Africa, on the global trend, has its unique problems for tax purposes, and therefore, because ATAF is a thought leader on African matters, it has sat down and come through with solutions that have helped us.
Discussions at the forum slated for the 18th to the 22nd of November in Kampala is premised on the theme Innovation, Digitalization and Harnessing Technology to Improve Tax Systems.
This particular theme comes at a time where digitized economies have taken the world by storm, and solutions or measures on how to mint revenue from them are still a great challenge. The ICTA will discuss innovative solutions to the policy challenges that face countries in dealing with the taxation of digitalization so as to inform the global tax debate over the next decade.
It comes at a time when the African continent has evolved into more effective tax systems, creating increased opportunities for state building and enabling the continent to take control of its destiny.
The ATAF DTA seeks to create agreements that favor revenue mobilization for African countries. This model will curb illicit financial flows such as transfer pricing, profit shifting, and non-double taxation.
Meanwhile, Barclays Bank Uganda Limited has completed its legal name change to Absa Bank Uganda Limited. The bank has received the operating license from Bank of Uganda following the rebranding process.
We are changing a lot of our technology infrastructure, which has been dated, and we've been making some investments in the past, but some significant investment is now going in there. That will make our channels more stable, it will make our network more stable, and therefore our level of service we are expecting to improve considerably.
The change marks the start of a new era for the bank's operations, Absa officials assured their customers.
Post the transition completion, which is today, there's a lot of emphasis on new technology, which is landing, hopefully our service, which is which has been some sense of concern for some customers that have raised to us. We are continuing to ensure that we continue to make that better.
However, customers are urged to be vigilant during this transitional time, as fraudsters are always looking for opportunities to obtain important personal information. Dennis Ikoa and Robin Yoso for UBC Business.
Okay. Thank you.
And on international scene, South Sudan's President Salva Kiir and the former rebel leader have agreed to delay forming a unity government for 100 days. This beyond the 12th November deadline, Uganda's presidency has said.
South Sudan's President Salva Kiir says his government accepts the blame for the slow implementation of the country's peace deal.
I accepted it because the government did not honor its pledge to pay the remaining part of the $100 million to the National Pre-Transitional Period Committee for the implementation of the agreement.
President Kiir now says government is in the process of releasing all the funds it earmarked for the peace deal implementation. Opposition leader Riek Machar wants the government to use the $100 million it pledged to purchase supplies and provide training for soldiers who are in camps. He is also demanding security sector reforms and a reduction of the number of states from 32 to 10 before a unity government is formed. South Sudanese people and civil society groups hope the delay will be enough to allow the two sides to reach an agreement.
We are not simply saying that that extension will result to implementation of all the provisions, the security issues, the states, the unified forces and so on, but we feel that it is adequate enough to generate momentum for the parties to sit and reasonably move towards putting in place the benchmarks that would enable all the opposition groups be part of the government, that will enable Machar to come to Juba.
What just happened is like a gift to the people of South Sudan, that they want to make sure that the country doesn't go back to war.
The new government is now scheduled to be formed on February 22nd, 2020. The United Nations is calling on all parties to work with renewed urgency and resolve all the outstanding issues within the scheduled 100 days.
And with that, let's quickly take a short break and return with business. Or rather, that was sports. After a trip to the northeastern part of the country, Uganda Cranes are back in camp ahead of their Wednesday AFCON game in Burkina Faso. Uganda departs tonight aboard Uganda Airlines.
Official Uganda national football team, the Cranes, departs Tuesday morning for their first 2021 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier game against Burkina Faso on Wednesday. The few Cranes players present had light training sessions in the gym and at Mandela National Stadium. Cranes depart in a chartered Uganda Airlines, play on Wednesday, then return to prepare for their next game against Malawi at Nambole Stadium over the weekend. The local best players in camp include KCCA's Charles Lukwago, Alan Okello, Nicholas Kasozi, Vipers Khalid Dwaliwa, and Fahad Bayo, joined by foreign best player Emmanuel Okwi, Khalid Aucho, Alan Chambade, and others.
As they've arrived, they've come in and been working with me individually. We had 2 players at the start of the week, we had 4 yesterday, we had 6 today, and we've done some work with them, so good benefit to them. And I thought they're all looking fit and healthy. They're eager to play, and yeah, I think when we get the entire group together, they'll be in sort of good condition to go.
Abdul Lumala and Patrick Kadu have already arrived in Ouagadougou, while Luwaga Kizito, Isaac Mulema and Timothy Wanyi connect directly from their respective clubs. Cranes has competed in the last consecutive AFCON finals, where most of the players got new clubs to play for after the tournament.
And with that, let's quickly take a look at the top stories for the night. Four senior 6 candidates in Iganga district have missed UNEB. Over 100 drug addicts and smokers netted in a city pad near Crested Towers. On the international scene, South Sudan president accepts postponement of unity government deadline. While in sports, cranes to charter Uganda Airlines to Ouagadougou. That does sum it up for now. We do return at 10 o'clock with more details on sign language. Is Mugalu Mohammed. I am Rhoda Ngonzi.
Introducing the new itel P15 smartphone with free 1GB Airtel data every month for 3 months. Enjoy unique features like the big memory, 4000 mAh big battery, 5-inch HD screen, and the fingerprint sensor. Dial *175 *9 hash to activate free 1GB Airtel data every month for 3 months. Get yours at the nearest itel branded shop. itel, in partnership with Airtel, the smartphone network.